Aprendimonji.
Yes. Какая конечно.
Good evening. I welcome all the participants to the second day of 1 week international virtual FTP on interdisciplinary concepts organized by Department of English, SR University, Warangal. Now, before I read out the profile of our resource person for the evening, I request all the participants to mute yourself and do not unmute yourself during the session. You will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Now, I take the privilege of reading the profile of our resource person for the evening. Dr. Jamal Kaid Muhammad Ali, an associate professor of applied linguistics at the University of Bishar, Saudi Arabia, holds a PhD in linguistics from Aligarh Muslim University, India. His current research focus revolves around ChatGPT's impact on English language learning, with 4 research papers published on the subject. With experience in teaching positions in Yemen and India, Dr. Ali's extensive research contributions span various areas of applied linguistics, including online learning during COVID-19 pandemic, phonological features in texting, and reading comprehension challenges for EFL learners. He actively engages in workshops on academic leadership, quality assurance, and publishing, making him a respected figure in the field. Now I welcome Dr. Jamal Kaid Muhammad Ali to take over. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed, ma'am, for this introduction. I welcome everyone. Good evening. आपके से हो, I know some Hindi because I was in India for about 7 years in Hyderabad, in Aligarh, and I visited many places there in Delhi, Chandigarh, Mumbai also. So I visited many places here, but I spent most of the time in Hyderabad and Aligarh. So okay, so I hope everyone is fine, and I hope that you will enjoy the presentation, and we are going to learn something about ChatGPT, as it is one of the latest tools to be used for English language teaching and also learning. I'll just, first of all, what I'm going to do, I will give you a kind of introduction about ChatGPT and some findings in general, and then if we have time, I'll go to talk about some research papers in details. So I think most of you know ChatGPT, and then I'll start with this with this picture. It's a kind of definition. If you look at these pictures, it's a kind of definition. What is it, ChatGPT? What do we do with when we use ChatGPT? We are just these pictures, they talk and define ChatGPT. So when you look at them, that it seems like when we ask ChatGPT, when we inquire about anything, it is almost like these two pictures. We are talking with someone. It is completely different what we used to do when we used to search, for example, in Google for something or Yahoo or whatsoever. When you used to search in Google, we used to search, for example, if we are looking for a specific information about, let's say, about grammar, for example. What we used to do in Google, or I mean in the previous tools, we used to search for specific information and then find it difficult to find the exact information or the correct information. Sometimes we find it easily, but when we ask or we search for something complicated to some extent, we used to search in Google maybe for minutes, or sometimes for an hour, and sometimes for days, and we used to find that it was difficult to find the answer, the correct answer. Sometimes we used to find a similar question, and this question leads us to some forums, to some forums, and these forums we find a lot of discussion. Someone says this is the answer, the other one says no.
अरे इस लड़की को तो देखा तो लग रहा है जो नानी बनती है हर सीरियल में, वही ना.
So what I was saying that when we used to go to some forums talking about a specific issue in grammar or anything in a language, in any subject in English language, we used to find a lot of discussion, agreement, disagreement about specific information. Now in ChatGPT, it's not there. As you can see, you are just talking with someone. When you used to search for a specific information in the past, we used to search in a different source, in different sources, and then find answers which we feel that, oh, is it the correct one or not? And then it was difficult to even to decide. Sometimes, I'm not talking about all the time, but sometimes we used to face issues like this. But now we have ChatGPT. We talk with ChatGPT as we are talking with someone with us, and then ChatGPT most of the time doesn't give us wrong answers. Some wrong answers, I mean, are there, but if we are asking about definitions, about explanation of something, I mean, for us, for learners of English, we rarely find something which is not accurate. Most of the time, the answers of ChatGPT are correct. When we go deeper and deeper, we may find some things are inaccurate. But in general, for us as learners or teachers of English language, when we ask for specific information, explain this one, give me example of that one. Even if we ask for simple thing, for example, simple present tense, we ask ChatGPT, give me explanation of simple present tense, and give me examples from contents in India, for example. You'll find examples about Indian places, Indian people, like this one. If you find, this is a kind of difficult explanation I cannot understand or cannot show to my students, you can just, again, please make it simple.
Yes.
Again and again, it goes like this one.
Jamal, interrupt
yes,
you.
please.
Your slides are not changing.
Yeah, we are in the first one.
Okay. Sir, could you please be louder, please? Some of the participants were able to listen.
Sure. Is it good now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Sorry to disturb you.
Okay, no, sure. Thank you very much indeed. So, what I was saying, that ask ChatGPT to explain something for you, give examples from a context, for example. And what we do sometimes, I mean, here, for example, in Arab countries, you can also do this one. You can just ask ChatGPT, for example, explain an issue. For example, as we said, simple present tense, explain simple present tense, and give me a translation of each explanation. For example, ChatGPT explains something in points. So the first point, it will be in English. The second point will be in Arabic, for example, or in Hindi or Urdu, whatsoever. So you can say explain everything in Urdu or Hindi, it will explain. But if you also ask, give me an explanation in Urdu and in Hindi, as well as in English, you will find like this one. Whatsoever, in any language, you will find almost accurate answer. So this is the ChatGPT, and the learners of English language and also teachers can benefit from this one. And for example, a teacher, sometimes I teach my students, and then I find that the students find a kind of difficulty to understand what I'm explaining. When I feel that I don't have time to prepare the lesson again or something like this one, I ask for this specific information, ChatGPT. Please give me a simple explanation with examples like this one. Ask ChatGPT, give me 10 examples, give me 20 examples, 30, 50, whatsoever. It will continue giving like this one. Ask to simplify again and again. So it's a tool which it's, I mean, as you can see in the picture, you are talking with someone, and this one has a lot of information, and mostly accurate information when I'm talking about teaching and learning English. Yes, when we talk about something, some other subjects, we may find problems, or some, even in English, if we are talking about literature, for example. But to some extent, it's a very helpful tool, and it doesn't waste time searching for a specific information. As I said, we used to search for a long time for some information, but now just in a second you can find the information. Let me go to the next slide. So as you can see here, that we will talk about four main issues. The first one, how ChatGPT helps people in learning new languages. And the second one, what recent studies and research say about using ChatGPT in education, and how ChatGPT is changing the role of teachers and their way of teaching, and then why understanding and using technology like ChatGPT is important for our future of education. This is if you see the last one, it's very important, and then you just see we have about or more than 200 participants, so we will know. I mean, from the presentation itself, you will know the answer for the last one, but we'll also talk about this one. Fine. So look here at the first. I mean, this slide that it chat GPT enhances language skills. So as I said before in the introduction, that ChatGPT helps us. We can find information, we can search for information. So as language learners, what we do in ChatGPT, I mean, when we study grammar, we can search for anything regarding to grammar, to our skills, reading, writing, whatsoever. Now, if in ChatGPT 4, also they have listening and speaking. You can just talk with ChatGPT, and then it will reply to you. Now we are discussing with someone in ChatGPT 3.5. It's only by writing, but ChatGPT 4 it also provides the availability of speaking and also listening instead of writing. So now we improve our skills, either, as we said, reading, writing, listening, speaking, whatsoever. And you can see that when you, as a student, for example, use ChatGPT, I think most of you have heard about the problems of ChatGPT. They say people or students are going to depend on ChatGPT. They are not going to learn this and that, etc. But from my experience, the input which I asked ChatGPT, you can see that we are asking many questions, asking to paraphrase, reading, checking whether is it accurate or not. So we are not just taking information from ChatGPT and then learning nothing. So when you ask ChatGPT, that means you have a question and then you are checking the answer, whether is it okay or not okay. So like this one. Now, when you chat, that means you are writing or speaking, and then when you get the response, you read and you also listen. So all the skills, will be improved because of ChatGPT. And then if you search in Google about ChatGPT, people started to say that it's a teacher, and there is if there is a student who finds it difficult to learn English, for example, in schools or institutes or whatsoever, ChatGPT can provide him or him information as to some extent teachers do in the classroom. So you can learn almost each and everything. Ask about whatever comes to your mind, and you will get an information from ChatGPT. Knowledge, skills, rules, vocabulary. Just take, for example, skills. The word skills itself. Ask ChatGPT, what does the word skills mean? You will get an answer. I'm talking about vocabulary, for example. You will get an answer, explanation. Then ask ChatGPT to give examples, context, example from different languages. So just for looking for a specific meaning of a specific word, you will get a lot of information from ChatGPT, which was difficult in the past to be found easily. So this is one of the things. Let's look at the next slide, which says personalized learning experiences. You can just see here, it says everyone learns differently. So in the classroom, you may find some students who find it difficult to follow teachers. But what does ChatGPT do? It gives an answer or let's say teaching to a student in a way which suits him or her. So as I said in the beginning, when you ask ChatGPT for specific information, if you don't understand, ask again and again, again and again for more information, for more explanation. And it goes like this one. So in the classroom, yes, a student can ask a teacher once, twice, thrice. Then at the end, he finds, oh, it's either feeling a kind of shame or something like this. It's enough. Yes, I can ask. At the beginning of the lesson, or if there is a lecture, I can ask at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. But asking all the time, re-explain, give examples, it's a kind of disturb to teachers, and it's not possible that for students to ask from the beginning of the lecture to the end of the lecture, asking because there are other students who want to learn some, let's say the lesson, for example. So if a teacher, answers the students' questions again and again, many questions by one student, it will not be proper with them. But ChatGPT, you can ask as much as you can for just very simple information. Ask for more explanation, ask for translation, ask for examples. So this is the difference between let's say either a teacher or let's say Google or whatsoever. The things which we use to search in the internet for the information. So this is one of the important things. Again, you can see here accessibility and inclusivity. Here you can see that ChatGPT is a tool that everyone can use, no matter where they live or what challenges they might face in learning. So a kind of information I have talked about, you can see here, it's especially helpful for people who live in places where it's hard to find good language teachers, institutions, for, or they have students who have problems, difficulties in learning. As I said at the beginning, it was difficult to ask teachers again and again, but here you have this facility here to ask for more explanation, for more examples, for translation, for repetition, for paraphrasing, whatsoever. If you look at the ChatGPT, when you ask for some information, when you find that this information, the explanation, there are 2 or 3 words which you cannot understand. So you just ask it, ChatGPT, please write it again without, for example, let me give you an example of this slide. For example, ChatGPT is a tool that everyone can use, no matter where they live or what challenges they might face in learning. For example, if you don't understand what's the meaning of the word challenges, what's the word of learning, what's the meaning of matter or no matter, so tell ChatGPT, please give me the explanation without these words, or using simple words for no matter where challenges like this one. You will find paraphrasing without these difficult words, or with these new words which you don't know their meaning. Fine. Let's go to benefits in language programs. Maybe it's a kind of repetition here. Let's see the benefits. It says here, research studies have shown some great benefits of ChatGPT. We have an example here. For language learning, became more involved in their lessons. Maybe I mentioned this one at the beginning. When you use ChatGPT, it's not a matter of asking and getting the response and finished. No, you're asking again, asking to paraphrase, asking to explain the difficult words, asking to translate. So you are not just asking and then taking the answer, copy paste, sending, for example, to the teacher and whatsoever. No, you are learning again and again because of a lot of discussion between you and ChatGPT. And then some studies prove that students who use ChatGPT and learn from ChatGPT, they improve their scores, vocabulary, grammar, skills, etc. Fine. Challenges and solutions. I don't know. I mean, when we talk about challenges, let me just give you an example about, I mean, these challenges. For example, when we, if you remember when we were teaching online during COVID-19, there were a lot of problems because of teaching online. People were talking about a lot of difficulties. So one example, when we were having a workshop, we were in a workshop talking about using Blackboard or online learning in teaching and learning. Some of our colleagues used to say, oh, no, I don't like online learning because students find it difficult to learn as they learn in the classroom, in traditional classroom. They find it difficult to communicate with the teachers. Most of you heard about this one. Students cheat in the, I mean, when they study online, teachers find it difficult to understand the facial expressions of students and then communicate with them in body language. So a lot of issues like this one. That was during COVID-19 online learning. And I remember one of the participants, who was the dean of our college, he said, yes, we have these problems, but if I ask you a question, when we talk about traditional, I mean, yes, I mean, problems were there during online learning, such problems. But when we talk about traditional classrooms, is it possible that everything is there, that no problems, no issues? The students, I mean, learn 100% and the teachers teach in 100% way, in a very good way? No, you will find students who are, for example, not, I mean, serious. Those who might go to the classroom for just a kind of attendance or whatsoever. You will find teachers who teach in a way which students do not understand most of what they, I mean, they teach. I mean, yes, they are, for example, professors or whatsoever, but when they go to the classroom, you will find the students complaining again and again, we don't understand from this teacher. So its challenges are there when we talk about traditional or online learning. The same thing here, When we talk about ChatGPT, if we say, oh, there are problems, so it doesn't mean that if ChatGPT is not there, problems will not be there. Problems are there, and then we think of how to solve these problems. This is the important thing. As some people say, do not tell me about the challenges. Do not tell me about the problems. Tell me about solutions to the problems. So this is what we should discuss. Again, I remember when we used to talk about texting, the abbreviation of English language during SMSs 10 years ago or 15 years ago. We used to talk, I mean, Facebook or Twitter or SMSs, we used to say, oh, people are using English, texting English, they are abbreviating, so their English will be weak in the future. This will cause a distraction to English language. So I saw one of the writers that time. He wrote that texting is here to stay, and we have to find solutions to, save our language. It's difficult to tell people do not text, do not abbreviate. It was a fashion that time, so it was impossible to ask someone stop texting, stop abbreviation. What we should work to save the beauty of our language, and this is what happened. If we talk about texting now, it became an old topic. No, almost there is no effect. Bad effect about texting. So it goes like this one. Even ChatGPT, in 10 years in the future, we'll find that students will learn a lot of things, will learn English, it will be a good teacher for them. That is what we are going to find in the future. Problems are there, but it depends on the user. If a student uses ChatGPT to cheat only, so that is his mistake. But we'll find many students, a lot of students who use ChatGPT to learn and benefit from it. And then also, also one of the solutions also that teachers should teach students how to use ChatGPT. This is very important. And instead of making students just use ChatGPT for, some students for cheating or for just getting answers without thinking, without analyzing. So teachers of English language should focus on this one. They should use ChatGPT in the classroom, help students to use it in a way, in a creative way, for example, a way which will help them to learn. And then also take the benefit of some students. Now, if you go to the classroom, if you ask students who use ChatGPT, you'll find some students learn a lot from ChatGPT. No issue if we can also take the help from a student to make a presentation, for example, talk about ChatGPT. From his own experience, talk about ChatGPT and give explanation how to use ChatGPT, how to benefit from it, how to ask, how to paraphrase, how to edit, from his own experience, so we can take the help of students, because it might be interesting if a student talking about using ChatGPT and the experience which he or she learned from ChatGPT. As I said before, you can see just here role of educators. This is one of the issues that we can use it in the classroom, ask a student to use it, encourage them use it in a way which will help them. You can just see that now, even when students get a response from if a teacher asks students to submit an assignment, now teachers will go to this assignment. They will try to check whether is this ChatGPT, and then it's difficult to if there is a tool to find whether is it ChatGPT or not, that is okay. But if there is no tool to to see whether is it ChatGPT or not, the teachers will start asking students okay, this is the assignment which you have submitted. It's a good assignment. Sometimes the teacher knows that the level of the students is not up to this assignment. The way it was written in a very good way. Even if he or she knows that this is by ChatGPT, teacher can ask a student to explain, for example, make presentation about, okay, submit your assignment and then give us 5 or 2 or 3 minutes. It depends on the number of the students about this assignment. Explain this assignment, talk about this assignment. So the students, even if they take help from ChatGPT, and if they can explain, if they can analyze, that is, also good. So teachers are going to do something like this in the future. Fine. So shift in the pedagogical approaches. It says here the way of teaching or pedagogy is also changing. It says here, if you can see, a great focus now in developing or critical thinking skills and encouraging creativity. As I said before, that now we are going to, as teachers, we are going to make students, we will not just ask them, okay, write assignment. If you get an assignment, okay, good, 10 marks out of 10. No, now there will be a kind of discussing the assignment, and it goes like this one. A lot of activities will be there because of feeling that this activity or this assignment is or was taken from ChatGPT. So we'll ask students to show how they learn from what either they have done themselves or they talk from ChatGPT. Fine. Here, you just see. Preparing for a digital future here. You just see here. It's. Now you just see. We need to learn ChatGPT. It's not a matter of learn ChatGPT because it's a good tool. See, for us, as if you are talking about students, it's a way to learn through ChatGPT, and then in the future you will use ChatGPT in teaching, and then also for teachers. It's difficult to teach students, and then you know that they are using a tool which you cannot. We as teachers, we cannot stop students from using ChatGPT. So we know that they are going to use it, to learn from it, to benefit from it, and then sometimes, or let me say rarely, some students will use it. Just a kind of helping them to do the assignment without thinking like this one. So it's difficult for teachers. It's difficult for teachers to say, no, I don't like a ChatGPT. I don't want to learn ChatGPT. This is some people, they say it's a tool for plagiarism, like this one. So if we, either students or teachers, if you think, oh, this is a tool for plagiarism, we are not going to learn it. We will learn, through traditional tools. It's for students and teachers. It's not fair, because this is a tool. I'm talking from my own experience. This is a tool which helps a lot. And sometimes, let me give you an example. Sometimes when I teach, just last week I was teaching morphology, and then I read something in the book that I found it needs a lot of explanation. It needs a lot of examples, and it might be difficult for students to understand. So I asked ChatGPT to explain this concept in a very simple English and give me examples from Saudi Arabian context. So I took this, the answer by ChatGPT, and I bought it in paper, and then I printed it, and I give it to the students in the classroom. So if we say, no, I'm not going to use ChatGPT because it's a kind of plagiarism tool, or killing, as people say, killing creativity, etc. If we say this one for teachers, it's not fair, because it's a tool to help a teacher to teach students in a way which will help students. At the same time, it's a tool which helps students. So if I ask students, any student who uses ChatGPT for learning will get an answer. We'll get an answer that it's a fantastic tool. Let's leave the a kind of ethical issues, like cheating and this and that. Let's leave it aside. We have a tool which helps a lot in learning, which helps a lot in teaching. So we should learn it as teachers or students. Let me just give you samples of some research papers on ChatGPT. This was one research paper. As you can see, the impact of ChatGPT on foreign language teaching and learning. It's by Hong. I'll just give you a summary of the paper. You can see here in this paper here, the author believes that ChatGPT it changes the way we teach and learn new languages. So this is one of the findings. This is an important, the second one, that ChatGPT can be challenging because students might not write their own work or might copy, but it also brings good chances to make language learning better. So this is one of the studies on ChatGPT. And then one of the finding, it says ChatGPT can help students practice real conversation. As you can see, it's chatting with the ChatGPT. It says ChatGPT. This is one of the findings. It can act like personal tutor, giving quick help and advice. It doesn't take even half of a minute to get an answer. As I told you at the beginning, it's not an answer which you should compare between this and that. Find the answer, accurate answer to a very big extent. And then ChatGPT can help teachers plan lessons and they check how students are doing. The paper found that ChatGPT is changing education, but this change can be good if used in the right way. Yes, it says here, if we use ChatGPT only for cheating, for just copy and paste, here definitely it will not be good. But students are not doing this. Even if some students do this, at the end they will be it will be noticed at the end that, oh, this is using ChatGPT only to just get marks and this and that. The paper here, this paper suggested that we should use ChatGPT carefully and make sure students are still learning properly. And so, as I said before, that when we get, for example, when we ask a student to submit whatsoever, term paper or assignment or whatsoever, we should check whether the student, I mean, if they know what they have submitted or not. I mean, as we can ask them for a presentation or whatsoever. Then, finally, the paper found that ChatGPT can help in learning languages, but again, we should use it carefully and keep learning honest. So, these are because of the issues. If you look at the paper, you will find that a lot of discussion about those people who were talking again and again against ChatGPT. They were afraid of ChatGPT. So Hong found that ChatGPT is a good for learners, but we should be careful. We either as students or teachers. This is one of the research papers. I was one of the authors of this research papers. As you can see here, global perspective. What we did, we submitted a question, research. Just a kind of question on ResearchGate, and then we asked people, what do you think about a ChatGPT for English language learning? We got responses, and then we analyzed those responses. So, as you can see here, that the study search for ChatGPT and other digital tools. It aimed to create a model also. The results here, as you can see, showed that ChatGPT is useful in improving language skills. It helped by giving feedback to students on how they use the language, and then suggested activities for more language practices. This is another paper. Also, we did, the impact of ChatGPT on learning motivation. And then, again, I was one of the authors of this paper. What we did, we studied how ChatGPT could motivate students or demotivate them. And as I mentioned before, I mentioned before that because we are using ChatGPT, it makes, it's a kind of a chat. It encourage students to chat, ask questions. So you'll find that it motivates students to a big extent. But the results, as you can see here, the results showed that helps learners to improve their reading and writing skills. ChatGPT was done here in Saudi Arabia, and at the time, it was also in Yemen and India. Some our friends from India. At that time, it was at the beginning of the emergence of ChatGPT. Most of the respondents didn't get access to speaking and listening, just to ask in speaking. Use the audio. So that time it was used only for chatting, for reading and writing. So they found that it helps them to improve their reading and writing skills. As you can see in the next one, this is the issue. As people used to chat in only reading and writing, the participants felt neutral about whether ChatGPT helps. Because why they felt neutral? Because they didn't have experience. But just we asked them about their attitudes, their points of view. What do you think? Do you think that it will help listening and speaking? I'm sure if we do the study again now, after people have learned a lot about ChatGPT, we'll find the second one is different. We'll find that the participants feel that ChatGPT might motivate students to improve listening and speaking skills. So here, as next one, the study suggested that teaching with ChatGPT is motivating, and found we should use ChatGPT as a learning tool, not just worry about the negative parts. I'm not just thinking, oh, there is a problem here, as I said before. No, we just use the positive side of ChatGPT and leave the challenges, and then they will vanish in the future. This is another study. Again, I was an author in this one. It's what we studied here. It was a cross-sectional study of ChatGPT in translation. Again, it was about just attitudes and points of view of translators. So let me tell you something about this one. When you ask a ChatGPT, why did we do this study? When you ask a ChatGPT to translate a text, you will find a very good text. If we give ChatGPT a text, a simple text. For example, if we write a letter to a teacher, for example, or to the dean or whatsoever, it's just a letter, a simple letter, simple information, and you ask ChatGPT to translate this one, you will find very accurate translation. It's a very good translation. You can say sometimes you find the translation is 100% correct. But when we go deeply, when we ask ChatGPT to translate some kind of poetry, for example, or a drama or novel, here, because metaphors are there, and then something hidden, when the meaning is hidden, here ChatGPT might find difficulty in translation. But a simple text, you'll find a very accurate translation. So this is why we thought of doing a research on this topic. So you can see that the study investigated the impact of ChatGPT on the field of translation, focusing on how it compares with Google Translate, and it influences on the translation process and teaching. So yes, let me go to the finding. So the paper found that the majority of participants expressed satisfaction with ChatGPT, with students generally preferring ChatGPT over Google Translate, and teachers favoring Google Translate. This is one issue. The teachers, they find that they believe that Google Translate is better than ChatGPT. But students, when we ask students, they thought that ChatGPT is better. There was an issue here why teachers said that they prefer Google Translate, maybe because they didn't have experience using ChatGPT, and the students are, as they are young, they used to translate via ChatGPT, or something like this one. This is what we discussed in our paper. And then here, ChatGPT was found to be more useful for mechanical aspects of writing and editing translated text than for tasks requiring fine-tuning. You see, as I said before, sometimes, I mentioned this one before when I was talking about learning English skills. If you find an answer from ChatGPT, which you don't understand the meaning of a specific word, or you don't understand the explanation, or you find it difficult to understand as the whole text, just ask ChatGPT to paraphrase it, to explain it in a simple way. The same thing in translation. When you ask ChatGPT to translate, if you find that, oh, this translation, it's like a technical one, Okay, ask ChatGPT to retranslate it in a simple one or a very easy English or something like this one. So this is one of the findings. Yes, negative aspects, positive aspects were there. As I told you that when we translate text, for example, text which we study in pragmatics, for example, or when we talk about semantics, some sentences need a human being to explain these sentences. So sometimes we find the translation of such sentences might not be correct, but I give ChatGPT a text from Arabic. I asked ChatGPT to translate from poetry, from drama, from novel, and then I get good translation to some extent. But sometimes I ask ChatGPT, I give ChatGPT a kind of poems by Yemeni who is known for using a complex Arabic word. Even for me, when I read his poems in Arabic, I need an explanation. I cannot understand some of his poetry. So I read, though I'm a native speaker of Arabic, when I read his poetry, sometimes I cannot understand what does he mean here and there. So when I ask ChatGPT to translate these lines, ChatGPT says that it's difficult to translate these lines into English. I can translate them, but the meaning might not be accurate. The ChatGPT says this one because a lot of metaphors and representations here and there are there. So you just see, I'm talking about, I mean, a ChatGPT, when it finds it's difficult, it says it's difficult to translate it accurately. So this is really one of the great things. It doesn't give you a translation which is, I mean, very different from the original one and says this is the translation. No, it gives the translation and says make sure of this translation because the original one use complicated language or something like this. Fine. Here, this study is benefits and challenges of using ChatGPT. I also wrote this article, and I mean it was a kind of questionnaire, and we wanted to know the perceptions of the teachers of the benefits and the challenges. We made some questions, 5 Likert scales about the benefits and then the challenges, and then we asked them to open ended questions about this also. So yes. So our study, I mean, the study found that most level teachers view ChatGPT. I mean, this was a recent study. It was done in June. So the study found that most level teachers view ChatGPT positively, noting its contribution to English language teaching and learning, and found in general they agreed that ChatGPT supports. I mean, if I ask you, what do you think? Is it good or not? Most of you will say now that it is good. Yes, problems are there, but doesn't mean that we shouldn't use it. So concerns were there, as you can see here, about issues such as plagiarism, over-reliance on ChatGPT, and the potential erosion of trust between teachers and students. I mean, yes, I mean, some teachers or respondents mentioned this, that in the past when we asked a student to write something, okay, we used to give marks, but now, we will think, is it okay? Is this from ChatGPT? So a kind of losing trust between teachers. These are one of the problems, but at the end, as I said, all of them will be vanished. Yeah, fine. This was a study by two researchers about foreign language learning assessment in the age of ChatGPT. Here, as you can see, they investigated how the rise of artificial intelligence has influenced assessments in foreign language learning. They aim to provide theoretical framework to guide future research in this area. The paper discussed the nature and integration of alternative assessments in language programs. This is an issue. I read an article which talked, and I don't remember really whether it's an article or just it's just an essay or something like this. It says ChatGPT is the end of integrity. I mean, of online learning. In online learning, we used to ask students questions and give them, for example, for a question, 2 minutes to think of an answer. I mean, that was during COVID-19. When we used to ask students questions, we used to give them, for example, if we ask them 50 questions, we used to give them 100 minutes to answer the questions, or sometimes 100 minutes, like so. Because we used to say, oh, they need to type, they need to think, so give them some time to think. And now, when you give students this kind of amount, maybe they will ask ChatGPT, and in second they will get the answer. So it doesn't mean that we I mean, we know this problem and they say, no problem, let it be. No, we should also think how, I mean, this is, this paper is a kind of solution. I mean, doesn't mean, yes, we know that there are problems of ChatGPT, challenges are there, no problem. At the end, they will vanish. No, we should also do something to stop the challenges. So now, in asking the questions online, we should think how to avoid the answers or whatsoever. I'm taking answers from ChatGPT. We should do research about this one. So this was one of the things of this paper here. Fine. This study talked about ChatGPT in higher education, and then it talks about Arab students in India. The focus of this was in academic writing. It says here, ChatGPT among Arab postgraduate students in India in relation to academic writing. So again, it investigated the effect of ChatGPT, as we said, because you chat with the ChatGPT, you ask ChatGPT, and then you can get, for example, people say that it can ChatGPT can write a research paper. You can ask about the impact of ChatGPT on writing skills, for example. Ask ChatGPT, write an abstract, write an introduction, a sample introduction, sample review of literature. It goes like this one. At the end, you can find you have full, complete research paper. But I mean, this was a problem at the beginning, but now it is easy to find the one who can do like this one. I mean, there are tools in which journals can find that this text is from ChatGPT or was written by a researcher. Fine. Yeah, the findings of this paper reveal that again, when you ask students, they will find, I mean, you will find that they say that they benefited from ChatGPT. So, I mean, rarely we find research papers which they say that ChatGPT is bad, and then we have to stop it. Yes, it's good. Problems are there, and then how to solve these problems, how to avoid these problems. It goes like this one. Yeah. Yes. Just I'm going here. I mean, from my with my co-authors research papers. I mean, some of the responses which we got from the participants. So if you can see here, one of the participants here said, when we ask about ChatGPT, one of the participants said, in my opinion, ChatGPT can create opportunities for those who use it positively. It opens up new opportunities for students who have strong motivation to learn English, and teachers can use it as a guide when they prepare lessons. So this is, you can see, I mean, how teachers see that it's a good tool for either students or teachers. Here, one participant, as you can see, there will be a significant impact on enhancing students' writing skill through it. Students will be more autonomous and learn the process easily. If you look at autonomous here, people used to talk about it that so I mean, this is supporting the autonomy of the students and this, etc. Now it says that ChatGPT is a kind of a help to students to learn themselves by themselves. So to be autonomous at the end. So according to this participant, that ChatGPT can help in this regard. Another participant said that it can be conversation partner of the learner, provide them more practice in grammar and vocabulary, check their errors, and clarify their doubts. All these things are there, as we discussed at the beginning. Then the participant goes further, saying, since ChatGPT doesn't understand context, it may struggle to grasp the nuances in communication, thereby limiting the scope of interaction. So sometimes, yes, as I said, when we ask ChatGPT for, just a normal text, then we find explanation, etc. But sometimes the context make it difficult to ChatGPT. But this, for sure, they are again and again improving ChatGPT, and it will be solved. Fine. When here in the research paper, when we asked them about ChatGPT for translation or translators, it says ChatGPT helps. I mean, this is one of the participants, helps translators produce high quality in a short time. It does pose a threat to translators, and translation professionals are among those who might lose their jobs because of the high quality translation it generates. As I said before, that I mean, when you ask ChatGPT to translate, you find a very accurate answer, translation. So one of the translators thought that this is going to affect their jobs. So why people are going to ask translators to translate for them? And let me give you an example here. When our colleagues who are in, for example, in Arabic, or those who use Arabic as a medium of instruction, when they do a research paper, they do the research paper in Arabic, but the journals ask them to translate the abstract. This abstract, they find it difficult for them because they are not speakers of English. So they go to some people to translate for them the abstracts. And then they pay money for this. Now ChatGPT provides a very accurate translation. And as we said, we need to revise after ChatGPT. We need to check whether the translation is correct or not, if things are okay, because we cannot depend on ChatGPT to a big extent. We need to revise all the time. So now when they have a very good translation, it's very easy to ask any colleague, just please revise this, because the revision here will take 2 to 3 minutes just to check. It doesn't mean a revision to revise from the first word to the last one. No, just to check whether things are okay or not. So yes, as they said, they may lose their jobs, but at the end, if you remember, during the radio invention, the television, so people were saying that, it will make a threat to all, to many people. If you remember, I'm not remember, let me say, if you know, I'm teaching a course about the history of England with relation to the language. And then I was teaching the students just last week that the industrial revolution in England, the workers used to work by their hands. And then when the industry started, they brought machines, and the workers thought that, this is the machines is going to be a threat to our jobs. What they did, they started destroying the machines like this. So then the government helped the people of industry, and then made the rule that if anyone destroy any machine, he will be punished by death. So you can just see, this is a kind of analogy, see how they were afraid, we will die because of the machines. But at the end, see what is the result, what is the outcome of them. So let me just show you a slide. We ask students, teachers also, and the students, and then they just generate high quality translation, improve translation, generates accurate translation, useful for translation. So this is one of the techniques we ask, which is a projection here. Stephen's creativity in translation, discourage. So those who have the negative attitude of ChatGPT. This is one of the research papers, but we don't need to go into detail because most of the things we mentioned that can be used to develop students' conversation. The participants' views can be used to develop students' reading, writing, can be used to develop students' grammar. So these are some of the participants. If you look at the first one, 5 participants believe this. It goes like this one. Fine. Yes, here to conclude that we have about 247 participants here. Just 1 minute, is it? Yeah, it's a kind of encouragement for students, teachers, researchers, curriculum developers to use and benefit from ChatGPT, and this is what I have. Thank you very much indeed. This is my profile in ResearchGate. That is my email, Jamal, my official email. This is my ResearchGate. For those who use ResearchGate, you can send me either via ResearchGate, or you can send me an email for any information, etc. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. I'm sure all the participants are enlightened Now, the session is open for question and answers. If anyone has any queries or you want to ask a question, you can either put it in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask the resource person.
Let me also go. There are questions here in the chat. I'll just have a look at them.
Sir.
Yeah. I have a question here. Let me just, it asks about how to use ChatGPT to improve listening and speaking. Let me just show you. See, the problem with the speaking, I mean, in ChatGPT, I mean, how to improve speaking skill. It is in ChatGPT 4 and it is paid one. I mean, you if you want to use it, you have to pay $20 every month. It's about $20. I don't know how much is it in rupees, but it's $20 you have to pay it. It's maybe 1,000 or something like this one. So I have this one. Let me just show you an example. Let me show you an example. See, I can ask how to improve my speaking skills via ChatGPT. Just listen.
Speaking skills using ChatGPT can be both fun and effective.
So it goes like this one. I mean, you can communicate with it, ask questions, get answers. I mean, you can just ask ChatGPT, I want to make conversation with you to improve my English. It asks you which topic do you want to discuss. You mention a topic, for example, any topic, for example, the life in India. Then it asks another question, which is specific thing you want to know about the life in India. So it goes like this one. You can communicate a chat with chat GPT in this way.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, hello.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for a very enlightening session. I'm Dr. Kaniknath from the same university, SR
Thank
University.
you much indeed. Thank you much indeed.
I have a question actually.
Please, go ahead, please.
This is regarding the research, sir. If we are using ChatGPT for research purposes, so nowadays every software like Turnitin or Grammarly, they have. So how to cite that actually? If you have any option like
Okay, sir, your voice is breaking.
Can be given to ChatGPT, or how you have not written that it is AI in research?
Sorry to interrupt.
Did you get my question, sir?
Dr. KK, could you please repeat the question? I think you were not audible, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Sir, my question is nowadays this Grammarly and Turnitin, these plagiarism checker websites, they have introduced AI generated. Means if you generate something and put it in our research,
Yeah.
it is easily identifying that it is AI generated. So how to validate, how to cite that actually, or what are the ways through which we can actually use it at least as an inspiration, or you can use it in research in any sense? This is my question.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. It's clear. Thank you. You just see, I was in a conference last week about this issue. They were talking about this issue, and then for now, if we take a sentence or a phrase from ChatGPT, it will be available in the tools which show the plagiarism. That this is IA generated text. So for now, for the time being, but I mean, one of the presenters who, said that plagiarism will be a change. I mean, the definition of plagiarism, the idea of plagiarism, what does plagiarism mean, will be changed because of ChatGPT. Because what we do sometimes if I am sending an email myself, I'm talking about myself. I want to send an email. I feel, oh, okay, let me ask ChatGPT. I take this email, I send it to ChatGPT, and I ask ChatGPT, make this, good English or correct English. So it generates, it makes, the ideas are mine, but it makes it good English. So just 1 minute, let me finish, please. So now if you take this one to the tools, you will find they will say that this is from ChatGPT. Is this plagiarism? Is it not? I mean, because this is editing, but it's only editing or paraphrasing. So things will be changed. Just last week, I got a research paper from a journal, Tyler's and Francis journal, and at the end of the research paper, this is very much new. At the end of the research paper, I found this one. Let me read it for you. It was Declaration of Generative AI and AI-assisted technologies in the writing of process. This was at the end of the research paper. It says, during the preparation of this work, the authors used ChatGPT and Grammarly in order to copy, edit, and proofread the manuscript. After this tool surfaced, the authors reviewed and edited the content as needed and takes full responsibility for the content of this publication. This was in a research paper in a very famous journal, which is Tyler's and Francis. So things are going. There is another way. Sometimes when you ask ChatGPT a question and you want to take this question as a proof, you see what ChatGPT say. I mean, you will take the answer from ChatGPT and then you want to comment on the answer. Now, they take a screenshot because the tools for plagiarism, they couldn't check the screenshot as a picture. They take screenshot and then they pasted it in the research paper. Now this is accepted. If you read research papers in a very good impact factor, good journals, you will find this one, that pictures are inserted in the research paper. So it takes time for this one to be changed, but at the end it will be changed definitely. And let me tell you one thing. This is my point of view. I feel in the future, in the near future, for example, if I ask a ChatGPT, please write a letter to the chairman, tell the chairman that I want to be a very good student. For example, please help me. Just tell ChatGPT to do this one. ChatGPT will write a very good message for you. I think that in the future, the chairman can take this message, and then search for it in ChatGPT. He will find that it was generated by ChatGPT. It will not be open to everyone, but it will be open for those who are searching for a text. Is this from ChatGPT or not? I believe this will be there. Fine. I think it's clear. Do you have another question? I think someone, Prakash, wants to ask a question. Is he?
Yes, Mr. Prakash, you raised your hand. Do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, Prakash is not doubt is in classroom, how we use it in classroom. And
Sorry to interrupt, you're not audible.
yeah,
Ma'am.
ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, now you are. Please continue.
Yes, go on, please.
I guess there's a network issue. Sir, there are a couple of questions that are posted in the chat box. Can I read it for you, sir?
Yes, please.
Can we explain students this tool through PPT? Is one question. They are asking if they can explain about this tool through PPT.
So again, please.
So they were asking.
Yes, please.
If they can share this tool using PowerPoint to the students.
Yes, I mean, do you mean to create a PowerPoint, a kind of presentation by ChatGPT?
I guess so.
Yeah, see, ChatGPT, I haven't used it, but I attended a workshop 3 weeks ago, and then once was saying that you can I mean, ask ChatGPT to create a PowerPoint, and then it does so. But I mean, the presenter told us that there was a problem and it stopped. But for me, I tried to do it. I asked ChatGPT, for example, tomorrow I'm going to teach students simple present tense. Could you please make a lesson plan for me? So it gives me an explanation. Yes, the first slide put this information, second slide put this information, and then just it is easy for me to copy and paste. It gives me an explanation of the whole lesson, and also it gives me directions in which slides. In the first slide put this, in the second slide put this, in the third slide put this. It goes like this one, it goes like this one. So even I think whatever I ask ChatGPT, I want to make a PowerPoint, it will make it, and then it will tell me the first slide, second slide, third slide, fourth slide, etc.
Okay, sir. There's another question. How to cite ChatGPT in building students' interest in learning vocabulary among other better AI apps? How to cite ChatGPT in building students' interest in learning vocabulary?
I'm sorry, I haven't understand. What does it mean, how to cite? I mean, is it citation or?
Yes, sir, it's citation. Angelina, could you please unmute and repeat? I request all the participants to mute yourself unless you're asking a question. Is Angela Christina here?
Yes, please. If the question is how to cite, yeah, I got this question. How to cite ChatGPT in building students' interest in learning vocabulary. Cite, I don't know whether it means citation or how to use ChatGPT to build students' interest in learning. Maybe let me just answer it. How to use ChatGPT to motivate students to learn vocabulary. Among other, I don't have. I don't use other tools. For example, for Grammarly, I use Grammarly, but Grammarly it gives you some suggestions, for example. But for Ping Chat, Bard, I don't use them. I'm thinking of using them. I mean, learning differences between them and ChatGPT. But for ChatGPT, as I told you, today I was teaching my students, and then we used the ChatGPT. I asked the ChatGPT give me the explanation of a specific word. For example, experience. So it gives an explanation. We can ask to translate into other languages. We can ask, okay, provide me examples, sentences, provide me, I mean, using the word experience, provide me questions, provide me also diagrams. It also provided by ChatGPT 4. So, I mean, from one single word, we can ask many questions, got a lot of explanations, a lot of examples. So this is a kind of motivation if you're asking how to motivate them. So I believe the question is something like this one.
I guess Narmata has a question, sir. Narmata, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, please.
Good evening, sir. I used the content is my own. I just used ChatGPT to enrich the language of my article. Okay, will it come under plagiarism? The content is my own, but I used ChatGPT to enrich the language of the article, and it gave me. But if it goes to AI detection softwares, will it show plagiarism or not? Is it okay to use ChatGPT to enrich the language of my research articles?
For you see, as I told you before, I said this one, that for the time being, they'll consider it a kind of plagiarism, because I mean, whatever, I mean, even when we ask ChatGPT to correct a question, for example, how can we use ChatGPT in teaching method? If ChatGPT,
I request the participants to mute yourself.
if ChatGPT paraphrases a sentence like this one, how can we use ChatGPT in teaching methods? If ChatGPT makes it like, how do we use ChatGPT to in our teaching to motivate students? So the words which you didn't use and it is used by ChatGPT, it will be there. I mean, I mean, the detection softwares will say this was written by ChatGPT. But as I told you, that I found in a research paper that a declaration which says we use ChatGPT in editing and proofreading. Maybe in a very near future, it will be allowed, and then there will be maybe a solution. I don't know, but for the time being, it's plagiarism. But I think that ChatGPT will, I mean, will help in creating a tool to say this was editing by ChatGPT, proof read by ChatGPT, or this was generated by ChatGPT. In the near future, for the time being, it's a problem. But in the near future, it will be solved. What we can do, I mean, this is from experience. I'm not saying it's I mean, allowed or not, I don't know. But I mean, I heard from my friends that they say to ChatGPT, please paraphrase this text. After paraphrasing the text, then you can improve your text, which is in your computer by your own, benefiting from what is done by ChatGPT. So, I mean, if you just copy paste, I mean, if you take the words, ChatGPT says to write a teaching method in classroom. If you take this one, teaching method in classroom, this will be a problem. But if you just learn from it and then learn how to improve, it's just saying, it's like a teacher explaining to you how to improve it. I think it's not a problem. But if you copy paste, it will be a problem. So for the time being, it's an issue. And then it will be solved soon. This is what I believe.
Dr. Aisha has a question. Could you please unmute Dr. Aisha?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for the session.
Indeed.
Sir, can ChatGPT replace teachers, sir?
No. Thank you for this question. No, as I give an example of the machines during the Industrial Revolution in England. They thought that machines would change workers, but nothing happened exactly the same. It's impossible. It's impossible. It cannot be a teacher, but it's a tool to help students to learn better than they used to do in the traditional classroom. It's impossible. Nothing can replace a human being. This is what we read in many research papers, which they talked about ChatGPT in the last since the last year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Prakash, you have a question? Mr. Prakash?
Hello, sir. Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, good evening. I am Dr. K.V. Lakshmi from Hyderabad. Sir, nowadays...
Hyderabad, yes, go on, please.
Hyderabad, I am working as an assistant professor in Kommur Pratap Reddy Institute of Technology, sir. Sir, my doubt is, my college banned smartphones in the college premises, sir. During the class time also, not allowed in the smartphones are not allowed in the classes. So my question is, how can we make habituated to use ChatGPT in classrooms, sir? Means in a lab also, how can we use them? And does it make students passive, sir? Suppose if they use this ChatGPT, even apart from the college hours also, does it make students passive, sir? That is my question.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. When you say Hyderabad, I lived there for about 3 years. I did MA from IFLO, English and Foreign Languages University. I used to go to Hyderabad restaurants, to Tarnaka, Madi Vietnam, Skandarabad, Trechoki, all those places we used to visit. I mean, this was a long time, 3 years. So it's great to hear someone from Hyderabad.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sir. Then, sir, can you suggest some solutions, sir? Does it make a passive?
I mentioned this that before that I was I mean, as I said that I attended a conference last week, and in that conference, one from USA, I mean, one of the presenters said the definition of plagiarism. I mean, plagiarism is a very big issue, but plagiarism will be modified because of ChatGPT. So if plagiarism is going to be modified, I am sure at university they will allow students to use mobiles in the classroom, or they at least they might provide the ChatGPT in labs. I mean, I'm sure that you have computer labs, so ChatGPT could be available in the labs, and then you can take your students for at the end of the class, or sometimes if you have 5 lectures in a week, you can take them in one lecture to the lab to use this tool. And for passive learners, I mean, from what I read, yes, people they say this one, but from my experience, and I mean from either from my own experience or from my research experience, it's not that you ask ChatGPT, explain. I mean, tell me a short story about, or tell me some information about Telangana, for example, or about Hyderabad. So it's just, I mean, here we are communicating, we are asking, oh, then we find that this information should be modified, please modify it. You write a sentence in English and you ask ChatGPT to paraphrase. Now you are looking at this sentence and see how it was paraphrased. So we are learning. It's like a teacher teaching us, no, your sentence is okay, but it should be written in this way. So it's not just, I mean, we close our eyes, send a question and then get the answer. No, it's not like this one. I mean, a lot of communication. It's really interesting when you use ChatGPT. You'll find it's really interesting, and the students will use it. Thank you. Let me excuse me. I'll answer one question from the chat.
Yes,
It's
sir.
very
There's
yes.
a question.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, can I answer a question from the meeting chat?
Yes, sir. I'm
Yes.
reading it for you.
No, I found a question. I want to answer it.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. So there is a question says, in literature review, I have observed that often ChatGPT often creates false information. Are there any specific chatbot that deal with literature? This is a very important question. I don't know the answer of the second one, but I know the answer of the, I mean, the answer of the first section. It says, I mean, when you ask ChatGPT, especially review of literature. It's very dangerous to use ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT, give me a review of literature about using ChatGPT in India. So you will find that it will give you 10 references or 12 or whatsoever, and one reference is from 2010, from 2012, from 2020, from 1994, and it says the researcher so and so made a research paper on the importance of ChatGPT or the impact of ChatGPT in 1944. So I ask ChatGPT, I say, you give me a reference, this reference in 1944 or something like this one, and the ChatGPT was not there at that time. Then I get a response, oh, I'm sorry, by mistake. Then it starts to make a kind of correction. So even it, I mean, the review of literature cannot be written, and then you cannot depend on ChatGPT. It gives false information, because I believe this is a positive point. It's a very positive point, because ChatGPT is not meant to write for you something. I mean, a review of literature. It aims to provide us information. If you want to know about, for example, Hyderabad, it will give you some information about Hyderabad. But if you ask to write a review of literature of some issues in Hyderabad, now you are asking ChatGPT to do that thing which was not made for this purpose. So I believe it's positive, but we also say as this question says, ChatGPT gives false information with regard to review of literature. Fine. Are there any specific chat bots that deal with literature? I don't know, but if anyone of you presenters know an answer, please share it in the chat, please. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. K. Vijayalakshmi has a question, sir.
Yes, please.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hello. How are you?
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, I am K. Vijayalakshmi from SR and VJNR Government College, Khammam, sir. Sir, ChatGPT used for preparing and editing.
Can you hear?
Vijayalakshmi ma'am, we are not able to hear you. You are not audible. Could you please repeat the question?
ChatGPT is used for preparing and editing text, but how far is it reliable for original text, sir? Or needs to be checked once by original documents?
Reliable. Again, can you ask, please? Can you please ask? Repeat the question.
Sir, ChatGPT is used for preparing and editing text, but how far is it reliable for original text, sir? For any discipline, any field, whether it is law, medicine, anything.
Yeah. You see, I mean, I mean, I saw a question maybe similar to this one that it might be used for writing books like this. It's reliable. In one condition that I mean, this is, let me say, this is one of the issues. I mean, also an answer for a question I think by Dr. Aisha, that it make learners passive. So it doesn't make learners passive because we have to use ChatGPT, and then we should have knowledge. Knowledge means to test whether what is I mean, said by ChatGPT is reliable or not. Is it a good, especially as we talked before about review of literature. If you don't have knowledge, if you don't know a topic, it's very not good to use ChatGPT to ask. For example, I'm from English major. If I go to ask ChatGPT to give me information about physics, I cannot rely on the information because I don't have knowledge about physics, and this knowledge needs someone from physics to check whether this information is correct, is suitable, something like this one. So reliable, but in one condition, that someone needs to review it and then check whether it's okay or not. But if someone doesn't have knowledge in this specific field, it's not reliable. I mean, we cannot depend on it, we can say.
Okay, sir. Sir, my another doubt is, it is useful for any discipline, but without human effort, anybody can avail this with less hardship. Please clarify it, sir.
I mean, without human effort, again, please.
That means without verifying any relevant documents, or studying multiple subjects and studying different types of books on that particular subject area, like that, easily you can prepare with ChatGPT. So how far is it beneficial for the humans in doing effort on particular field, even though it is useful? Best solution for getting information in short time and editing and text, but human brainstorming is maybe less focused, I think, sir. Please clarify it, sir.
No, inshallah, they will be more focused. I mean, by the time ChatGPT, I believe, and I think rather that ChatGPT will be a tool for only getting information, learning from it, and it will not just be like getting information without reading, without knowing it, like this one. So it will be a tool for, I mean, for benefit only, nothing else in the future, inshallah. Thank you.
I think Marka Bhatia has a question, sir.
Yes, please.
Marka, are you here?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, please.
Sir, I want to ask a question that
Yes.
can this AI tool, ChatGPT, can it replace teachers? Like if a teacher is going in a classroom, can it be used as a teachable method, or how can we use it as a teaching method in a classroom?
Yeah, you can see. I mean, how can we use it for? I mean, it's a kind for us, for teachers. We can use it for making a lesson plan, for making explanations. I mean, if you are teaching a concept which we feel that students, I mean, if a concept is explained in a book, for example, definition of commerce, for example, if we feel that the information which is provided in the book is not enough, then we use a chat GPT, give this concept or this definition to chat GPT, please explain it, use examples, make it simple like this one. So I mean, we can it's a tool. We use it to help us to teach, so it cannot replace teachers, and it will never replace teachers. But in the classroom, again, I mean, we can use it in the classroom. For example, I use it in the classroom. If a student asks something, I tell them, okay, let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, give us examples, explain, paraphrase, again and again. So we can do it, but this is a tool for now. For me, mostly I use it before the classroom. But again, we can use it in the classroom, and then in the future, many issues will be there. I mean, how to use it in the classroom. This is, I mean, what researchers are doing, and just in the near future, we will learn a lot of methods how to use it in the classroom to teach students. But the things which I mentioned before could be used if you would like. Thank you, Barka.
Okay, we'll take one last question. Is there anyone else who is willing to ask a question? Is there any query?
Dr. Jamal.
Hello.
It's a wonderful session. I'm Raghu. Thank you for accepting our request.
Thank you much indeed.
Dr. Jamal, I have a doubt actually regarding chat. ChatGPT is a database, or is it going to analyze the information from the Google and provide it to us?
You just see what I cannot answer you. Give you exact correct information, which I'm sure about it. But let me tell you one thing: when you search in Google for translation, for example, let me tell you a thing. For example, when I search for, when I translate, for example, Holy Quran, yes, we find that it gives a translation from a famous book, which was translated from English to Arabic. It's exactly copy paste.
Okay.
This is one thing. The other thing, when I asked ChatGPT, can you talk about Hyderabad, for example, it asks you a question: which information are you looking for? What do you want to know? For example, if I say Hyderabad biryani, for example, can you mention some places, or mention good restaurants, something like this one? So a kind of a discussion between me and the ChatGPT, you find this is not there in Google, nowhere.
Okay.
So I really, I don't know exactly, but some information they are from other sources, but when you chat with it, something it's not there. It's the first time. So because sometimes if you have an idea about introduction to linguistics, we studied about the communication. Sometimes communication comes for the first time. Again, the same thing, it happens with me with the ChatGPT. So they are not there from Google. For example, when I write something myself, I write about Hyderabad. I wrote my own ideas, and then I give ChatGPT, please make it a good English, or please extend the information. Instead of writing one paragraph, make it 2 paragraphs. So these 2 paragraphs, which were written, they are not there in Google nowhere. So it's a kind of expansion to what I have written or asked ChatGPT. So I cannot answer your question exactly, but this to this extent, I believe it's okay. Yeah.
When we were, for example, when we are uploading an article doc in the Turnitin, so we have the plagiarism percentage from different sources. But whereas if we have an AI generated text, actually it was not giving the source of the reference. Rather, it is giving how much of percentage of AI generated text is there.
So do you mean ChatGPT itself, or
whatever AI generated text is there, what is the source it was generated? It was not showing in Turnitin. Rather, it is how much of percentage of AI generated text is there in the article.
So that could be an answer also. That could be an answer that that it might be not everything should be database. See, there was a question about review of literature before. When you ask ChatGPT to write a review of literature, it gives you false information. So it is not always from a database or something like this one.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. As you said, this is the last question. Give me just 2 minutes or 3 minutes to because there was I found many questions asking to give examples of ChatGPT. So
All
now
right.
I am now in ChatGPT. Let me just for example, I like really Hyderabadi biryani, and then when I go anywhere here in Saudi Arabia, I ask about Hyderabadi biryani. For example, I mean, there is something important about ChatGPT. It is trained when they ChatGPT, when I ask about cooking, then it understands that I am a man of food. It gives me answers related to my own questions. So when it knows that I ask always about academic issues, so they say a trained tool. I mean, it get trained by my questions again. So let me just tell you, Hyder Abadi biryani. Just see. A famous Indian dish known like this one. Because of time, I'll stop it, and then let's say give me examples, famous restaurants. Just I say famous restaurants, and then now even if I say if I write in wrong spelling whatsoever, Paradise, for example, see it gives you the name of again it will continue like this one. Let me stop it. For example, I can say write it in Hindi, for example. Write it in Hindi, for example. I'll stop it here. Yeah. So it goes like this one. You can ask in English, you can ask in Arabic, write the question in English or in Arabic whatsoever. Sometimes I write the question in Arabic. I want to know about Hyderabadi biryani in Arabic, but I say, give me the answer in English. So it goes like this one. See, I'll stop it here, and then I say, make it simple like this one. I mean, you'll find the paraphrasing of this. Make it very simple, like this one. You see, it's a paraphrasing and make it makes it so. It's as we said, communicating with someone. Yeah, like this. Yeah. Thank you. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, please. Thank you.
Dr. Jamal, thank you for the enriching and enlightening session on ChatGPT. I'm sure all the participants have learned a lot from your presentation, and followed by a fruitful discussion, and patiently answering all the questions. And your references to Iflu, Tarnaka, and Biryani made me nostalgic. Thank you for the session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sorry for, I mean, the participants. There are so many questions because you see, of the time, we couldn't. But if there is a chance, we will be with you either in India or online or whatsoever. Thank you. And then ChatGPT, excuse me, just let me finish this one. Let me finish by this important information. I mean, for those who I didn't respond, if they ask ChatGPT, they will get a very bit, I mean, good information in which they will say, "Oh, I wasted my time with Dr. Jamal. I am getting, I mean, good information, better explanation. For any question, ask ChatGPT now. It gives you, as I said, to a big extent, accurate information. What is something with, I mean, if we go to science concepts, maybe we'll have issues. But like these questions, you'll get a accurate answer.
Thank you, Dr. Jamal, for accepting our request.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a wonderful session. Actually, have given fabulous experience to the participants and so informative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Just one thing, one thing, please, before we finish.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if Dr. Raja Kumar with you or not, but he, I mean, I knew him from Hyderabad, and then we used to eat Hyderabad biryani together, and then he came here to Saudi Arabia for a few years. We were together, so just convey my greeting to him if he is not with you, please.
Last session in this FDP.
Thank you very much indeed.
Excuse me, Raghu sir.
Yes,
please
sir.
reshare the feedback link. Some of the participants are saying it's of Dr. Spurti.
No. I just posted the link for today's session, sir, in the chat box.
I got 4 or 5 messages. That's why. Okay.
Participants, please note I've posted the link right now in the chat box. Once again, thank you, Dr. Jamal. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you very much indeed. So can I leave now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Bye. See you all. See you all, and then बहुत शुक्रिया. Let me say बहुत शुक्रिया at the end. बहुत शुक्रिया for you who organized this presentation. I mean, and then for all the participants. Okay,
Thank you for accepting our invite as well, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. All the best.
Okay.
Raghu sir, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Will you repost once again?
Yes, sir, I'll do that.
Teja ma'am have already posted.
Yes, sir, I did.
So actually, I disable the chat box. They cannot message anything. So that's why only
Someone is doing a prank or what, I don't know.
no.
But
I have already this Jamal's link only.
no. Actually, they want in WhatsApp group. I think that's why they are doing this prank.
Yeah. Better not to share that.
No. We
Oh,
won't share there.
I just posted, sir. Do you want me to delete?
No.
No.
Let it be.
No, I posted in the WhatsApp group because they are not able to access it here. Do you want me to delete it, sir?
Yeah, if you could delete, sir, madam, because we will send them separately. If some of them are not there, I think in the meeting, and they are trying to say that it is old.
Please don't.
Okay, sir. I sent it in the chat box. And I
Because we
deleted
are
in the
getting
WhatsApp.
around YouTube and Zoom put together, we are getting around 300, but we have 350. So 50 members are missing.
Right. Okay, sir. Can we end the session here?
Let us wait for a while, ma'am, because I think it's still 97.
Some of them are accessing. No issues.